Good evening, geekophiles and cinephiles all across the globe. Welcome to the Down the Rabbit Hole podcast, the official Movies Matrix podcast. My name is Lo, representing the Bay Area of Northern California, west coast of the USA. Unfortunately, my other co-host Ryan is out of town and unavailable, but the show must go on and I'm going to keep things rocking. Hope everyone's doing great. And by the way, if this is your first time joining us, please hit that like button down below. Also subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Movies Matrix Pod, and also follow Movies Matrix on Twitter at Movies Matrix. That's where I get all of the news that I'm about to spill in just a couple of minutes. We got all the breaking news in gaming, film, TV, you name it. And without further ado, let's get this started. All right. First off, before we get to this first tidbit of news, I just want to congratulate Larry. You can find him on Twitter at LC Screen Talk. He was the champion of our great horror draft at Movies Matrix. If you missed it, please check down in the channel down below. We did a live draft where two different teams on two different nights. We had part one, part two, draft the greatest horror films out of two different brackets. It was a crazy, crazy matchup. And at the end, our guy, Larry, ran away with it. It was an epic matchup. He actually went up against Ryan, our other co-host for the Down the Rabbit Hole pod, in the finals. But ultimately, Larry's team of Halloween, Silence of the Lambs, Poltergeist, Black Swan, which is a little bit debatable, but it's definitely an intense experience, and Sinister. So again, congrats to Larry. Give him a follow at LC Screen Talk. And without further ado, going from the horror draft, first bit of news this week, we had the upcoming Texas Chainsaw Massacre film will serve as a direct sequel to the 1974 original, while ignoring all of the other sequels, prequels, and reboots that have been made. Legendary Pictures seems to be taking a page out of Halloween 2018's book, which could be a hit or miss prospect here. I'm a big fan of the original film directed by Tobe Hooper. It's a really gritty, terrifying experience that felt very real at the time, and if they can maintain that tone and revitalize this franchise, I'm all for it. But I am a little disappointed with some of the other prequels and sequels we've seen before us, so I think there's a lot of work to be made ahead of this film. So I'm gonna have such a hard time with this. The original is so good. I agree, Amanda. The original was terrifying. Definitely one of my favorite horror films of all time. I think I would put it like right under Halloween for me. How are you doing, by the way, Amanda? All right. So in our next crazy late breaking news of the week, we finally see Tom Holland as Nathan Drake from the upcoming video game film adaptation of Uncharted. Tom Holland, as everyone knows, charming young man, a phenomenal actor, really brought Peter Parker to life. A lot of people were debating on whether or not he was old enough to play Nathan Drake, whether he had, and this film was in development hell for a long time. But now that we finally get a look at him, he looks good. He looks the part. Holland's a phenomenal actor. If anyone hasn't seen The Devil All the Time and his other works, please do. He does more than play Spider-Man, and I'm excited to see it. I'm also excited to see Mark Wahlberg as Sully, I believe his name is. I've only played the first Uncharted. I'm not a huge fan of this franchise, but it definitely had that adventure Indiana Jones type of feel that caters to me. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, so if they can bring back some of that adventure to this modern action fantasy landscape, that'd be awesome. I don't think there's enough like epic adventures anymore, so Multiverse Monitors. I'm excited for this movie. Thank you for joining, man. They needed star power for Uncharted because video game films don't do well, so I understand the choices. 100%, Amanda. You know, some people hate or love Mark Wahlberg. Some people actually hate or love Tom Holland because of the MCU. But regardless, they both are very good actors in the right film. I thought Wahlberg was amazing in The Departed. I'm excited. I'm going to reserve judgment until we actually get some footage, until we actually see a teaser. But so far, it's pretty promising. And in our next bit of news, which I am so happy to hear, Michael B. Jordan is set to reprise his role as Adonis Creed in Creed 3. The upcoming film will also be his directorial debut. Michael B. Jordan is such a fantastic actor. He did wonderful as Killmonger in Black Panther. He was really intense. He really felt for his character. Something that a lot of villains, I think, lack is when you can empathize with the villain. And he played that well. I'm not saying he was right or he was wrong. He was actually really radical, but there is a side to his argument in Black Panther that did have some right reasons to it if he didn't go about it the best way. He was also fantastic in Fruitvale Station, which was based on a true story, a stone's throw from where I grew up. It was a really dark, harrowing tale about a young black male that lost his life due to a police shooting. Check it out if you haven't seen it. And I loved the first two Creeds. I thought after Rocky Balboa, I kind of scoffed when they first announced Creed. But after hearing Ryan Coogler was set to direct and hearing Michael B. Jordan was going to play the son of Creed, oh my God, they couldn't have done a better justice to the story and the original Rocky film itself, which is iconic. I mean, they have a friggin' statue of Rocky Balboa in Philadelphia. So this franchise is a storied franchise. I think Ryan Coogler is doing an incredible job. Forgive me, I don't remember who directed the sequel, but it was really intense bringing Drago's son back in, bringing Dolph Lundgren back in. I'm excited. I think Michael B. Jordan has the chops to show us what he's got. A lot of actors, when they step into the directing chair, most of them fare pretty well. So. Gaming geeks at Eat Gaming Matrix may side with that. Please follow Eat Gaming Matrix if you haven't yet. That's our gaming matrix. We cover all facets of the entertainment world. What's up, Sean? Right on Geek. He's our editor-in-chief. I also think Holland is going to be great. I agree. Multiverse monitors love Michael B. Jordan. Oh, yeah. Big ups to my boy MBJ. Creed lives on. I'm so stoked. Yes, he does. And also hats off to Carl Weathers. Such a wonderful performance as the original Apollo Creed. And I think Michael B. Jordan is definitely living up to the hype and the charisma that Apollo Creed originally brought. Stephen Capel Jr. Thank you, Chief. All right, with that bit, we're going to go on to our next bit of news here. All right, this one's near and dear to my heart. They finally released a trailer for Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. I actually waited until seeing this just before the show started, and wow, that's all I have to say. Wow. The animation is beautiful, and it seems like this is a fictional world, but it seems like they're pulling from Asian culture and Asian what do you call it? Ethnic styles and the way it looks is very ethnic Asian. Sorry. Anyways, Kelly Marie Tran is voicing Raya. Great news for her. And if you don't know, I'm of Filipino descent, and I'm super excited for more Asian representation. We've been getting some recently with Crazy Rich Asians, and even to an extent, Mulan, which was an all Asian cast. But I think we can definitely use more, and this is a step in the right direction. The visuals look phenomenal. I love the fantastical world building that's going on here. It definitely reminds me a little bit of Avatar: The Last Airbender, but that's in no way a bad thing, and it's in no way a retread. I can't wait to see what else they have in store for us. All right, and with the upcoming award season starting to kick into gear, Netflix released a trailer for Mank. It's David Fincher's new film. It'll premiere in theaters November 13 and on Netflix December 4th. I'm a huge David Fincher fan, from Fight Club all the way to The Social Network, where he blew up with the Academy Awards, and just like The Irishman last year, I feel like Netflix is really gearing up for the Oscars. The Trial of Chicago 7, which I haven't seen yet, I've heard amazing things. And Gary Oldman is set to play Herman J. Mankiewicz, if I'm saying that right. He wrote Citizen Kane, which is arguably one of the greatest films of all time, depending on who you talk to. Most film critics will say that the former. I'm excited. I thought the trailer was fun. It was definitely one of the more upbeat Fincher trailers I've seen, but at the same time, there is like an underlying darkness to Mank's character that I think Gary Oldman's going to portray well, and of course Fincher's going to portray present to us. Amanda Seyfried is also supporting, and it has an amazing cast. Shouts out to Charles Dance, the villain from Last Action Hero, one of my favorite 90s films. And oh, hold up real quick. Where's my mouse? My daughter would probably enjoy it. Yes. Not sure what ethnicity you are, but yes, we need more representation. Kelly Marie Tran deserves. It looks so beautiful. Yes, I agree, you guys. And namely, after the much undeserved hate she got following the Star Wars sequel, I agree. I don't understand like the unrelenting hate where you drive someone off of social media. Anybody doing that to people on Twitter, you guys are toxic and need help. Go see Citizen Kane. Honestly, I saw it for the first time something like 5 or 6 years ago, and I didn't even know what to make of it originally, but I did know that I was experiencing something. And for its time, I believe it was 1942. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was a groundbreaking picture. What Orson Welles did with the camera, his camera work was phenomenal, and like the way he was presenting the story, it had a style that just wasn't seen back then, where a lot of the old style films were very cookie cutter and like has to be filmed this way and that's the way. But Orson Welles started to show us that we can do different things with the camera, which was incredible. Jake and Dennis being reunited is everything. So excited to see them work together again. Yes, that's my next bit of news to the right. I clumped them together because I have so much to talk about, but it was just recently announced that Jake Gyllenhaal is set to star in Denis Villeneuve's new film, The Son. Jake Gyllenhaal was incredible in Prisoners. Heart-wrenching portrayals from both him and Hugh Jackman. Denis Villeneuve, unfortunately, our buzz and hype for Dune got pushed back yet again. But I'm sure based on the trailer that we just saw not too long ago, Denis Villeneuve is going to deliver again. His sci-fi chops with Blade Runner 2049 speaks for itself. Let's see. Citizen Kane will make people. I'd have to disagree with you there, Amanda. All right, so let's keep trucking along here. Dun, 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 dun. Hasbro reportedly developing a Power Rangers cinematic universe that will span across film and TV. The film will time travel and bring the Rangers to the 90s, where they have to find their way back to the present. I don't know about anybody else. I was a little bit of a 90s child growing up, and I grew up on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I had I wanted the Green Ranger flute, the dun, 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 and then his Megazord comes out of the water. The first film is a guilty pleasure of mine as well. Super cheesy, super campy, but for its time was super fun. The CGI was dated, but for my little eyes back then, I was like, wow, this is amazing. The 2017 reboot, I thought it did a good job. I thought it got a lot of undeserved hate. It sucks that it didn't do so well at the box office, which is what kind of killed its sequel's chances. But I feel like they were going in the right direction. I really liked the grounded take on Power Rangers, and I thought Elizabeth Banks was great as Rita. Didn't care for the glittery Goldar that they turned into like a mecha monster, but overall, I thought they did a good job. Personally, as a 90s kid, this speaks to me. I'm excited for it. I don't know about you guys. Where's my mouse? Sorry about that, Sean. Yes, I noticed that too. All right, moving right along here. So another big breaking news story for this week was Jared Leto and Joe Manganiello was reportedly set to reprise their roles as the Joker and Deathstroke in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Again, I wasn't championing the Snyder Cut myself, but I did kind of come around the side of getting behind a director's vision. I like Zack Snyder's first set of films from Dawn of the Dead to 300. Watchmen. But you know, the more that comes out, it's like more puzzling with how WB and even Zack Snyder himself have handled this. Like, supposedly there was a cut done, but then like they're adding so much more to it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, especially for Zack Snyder fans and Snyder Cut fans. But it just seems like very misleading. It's like, where's the truth? Where's the lie? I personally did not like Jared Leto's interpretation of the Joker. Not fond of the thuggish, ruggish gangsta vibe he had with the grill and the tats, and I didn't find him menacing at all. I didn't care for his voice. Definitely not my favorite portrayal of the Joker, but whether it's a cameo or a few like 2 minutes, little like, haha, there's the Joker, and then bye. I'm sure it'll be visually interesting. So fingers crossed it's more and it's entertaining, I hope. I mean, 4 hours, they got to start filling it up somewhere, right? So, all right. And continuing on with the spooky season theme, we had Scarlett Johansson set to star in The Bride, or I think it's just Bride. It's an alternative take on Bride of Frankenstein. Studio A24 is set to produce the film for Apple Plus. I'm a huge Universal Monsters fan. The original Frankenstein is a classic. I'm sure, however they take it, I mean, I want to see a trailer first because this is kind of like, this could be hit and miss, but I really like Scarlett Johansson going all the way back to Lost in Translation. I'm also curious who's going to direct this. So that's exciting news for me. And this was kind of hit and miss with the movie's Matrix team, but Tim Burton was also tapped to bring the Addams Family to television. Spoiler alert, I'm working on an A-list for Tim Burton, his 5 best films. I'm a huge Tim Burton fan. I think a lot of people like mistakenly think Addams Family was directed by him. I mean, this set of like kooky characters are perfectly fit in with what he writes about, what he likes to present to us on film. I'm excited. I think this is going to be great. Like his film record the past few times have been kind of so-so. I actually didn't see Dumbo yet, but overall, I mean, from Beetlejuice to Edward Scissorhands, even going to like Sleepy Hollow, iconic filmography. I think it'd be fun. Addams Family, a family themselves, are very, very rich characters you can like do different things with. From the homicidal tendencies of Wednesday to Uncle Fester's wackiness to Morticia and Gomez's mad love for each other. I think it'd be fun. It also depends on the casting as well. We need Johnny Depp for the Addams Family. That would be inspired casting, especially with Tim Burton. I mean, like the same way that Bobby De Niro and Scorsese worked together and Leonardo DiCaprio and Scorsese worked together. Johnny Depp was like, Burton's muse. So I think that'd be kind of fun. Super excited for Joe coming back. I agree. Deathstroke, we didn't see enough of him. That Easter egg was super fun. Jared Leto's Joker is super offensive. I think that's Andy, right? I'm not sure who he's offending, but if he's offending all gangsters and real like mobsters and thugs of power, sure, I can agree with that. And what time is it? All right, guys, it looks like it's about that time. We are set to, where's my mouse? We have an all-new segment here today at Down the Rabbit Hole. It's our first ever game. I have a couple special guests from our Movies Matrix team set to join us in just a moment. I present to you Build Your Crew Star Wars Edition. This is all leading up to the season 2 premiere of The Mandalorian. And without further ado, let me bring in our guests. Bobs, what up, man?
What's up, man? What's going on?
How you doing over there in Philly?
Doing well. No Eagles this weekend, so it's like one of those relaxing family get-together kind of weekends. It's been nice. How about you, man?
Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
Good. I can't hear Deebs. Can you hear him good?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Vibes, your audio, you're cutting out there, buddy.
But yeah, you know I'm doing good low with the Steelers win today. You know.
Awesome, man. That was crazy. I smashed the over on that game. So, hats off to Ben Roethlisberger and Deontay Johnson, who I sat in my main league.
Sadly.
Dive. Oh, there he is.
Come back.
Now.
Hey, you're back.
What's up, guys?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Just chilling, man.
All right. So, without further ado, the way this is going to go, I'm having
Yoda hat.
I'm having Michael and Dives respectively put together their own Star Wars crew. They get one pilot, one specialist of any skill or trade they choose, one leader, and one wild card. As anybody knows out there, the Star Wars universe is vast and expansive, and there's hundreds of awesome characters and droids and creatures you can choose from. I'm really excited to see what these guys bring to the table. Let's start off with you, Mike. Who are you picking for your pilot?
All right. I actually expected, is it Deebs or Dibes? Because I swear it's Deebs, but then I hear a lot say Dibes. Does it matter? Do you have a preference?
It's Dives, but I really don't care, man.
Okay. All right. I know that me and Dibes have the same sort of preference. I know that we both think Ahsoka is the best Star Wars character ever, and we don't care what you have to say about it. So I was trying to think outside the box, like what is Dibes not going to do today? So for my pilot, I think the thing that makes him so special is that he can also use the Force. And you might know him by his Red 5 signal. I'm going with Luke Skywalker.
Nice. All right, Dibes. Who's piloting your crew?
First up, I want to make it clear here that I'm picking my personal favorite crew. I acknowledge that there are stronger characters here that exist across the galaxy, but this is the crew that I would want to hang out with on the reg. This is the crew that meshes really well with my personality. It's a crew that's just as efficient as it is would be have a blast to have drinks with while you're traversing in light speed. So my pilot, I'm going with Hera Syndulla. There are a few Star Wars characters that inspire as much loyalty and dedication as my girl, Hera. She was in Star Wars Rebels. This is a pilot who risked herself again and again for the sake of her crew in Star Wars Rebels. But little fun fact about her, she was very much involved in that pretty much every single Star Wars major battle. She was involved in Rogue One. She had a little Easter egg in Rogue One. She was the general during the first destruction of the Death Star. She was involved in the Battle of Hoth. She was involved in the Battle of Endor. And she even once convinced Han Solo to say her ship, Ghost, was better than the Millennium Falcon. If that's not a pilot, I don't know what is. I'm going with Hera.
Nice. She's actually my favorite character from the Rebels show.
Yes.
Her and the Ghost crew, I mean, they literally could just run away with this one, in my opinion. But at the same time, if I was in the running, I would diversify my crew. All right, so let's go to our specialists. Who you got for your specialist, Mike?
I'm actually also going to go with a Rebels character and is also sort of a dual threat. So I'm going to go with Sabine Wren, both as a bomb strategist, bomb expert, and then also a Mandalorian warrior. And I just, I love her style with the graffiti, her tags on everything. She's just awesome.
Nice. Awesome. I can't wait to see her possibly. She is going to appear in season 2. Is it confirmed, or are we still not sure?
I don't know if it's as confirmed as Ahsoka. We're for sure on that, but we'll see.
All right, Dives, who you got for your specialist?
Great choice, Mike. This is going exactly. We're on the same wavelength here.
I knew we were going to be.
This is so funny. When I think of specialist, I think of droid, and I'm going to go with one that I think is the most underrated droid in Star Wars. This is a droid who's incredibly diverse in his skill set and has arguably the best personality and attitude in the Star Wars verse. The droid I'm going with is Chopper from Star Wars Rebels. What I love about Chopper is the attitude. That he doesn't let the Ghost crew pushing him around. This is a droid that will flat out tell you no if you tell him to go do something. So for my crew, I needed a droid who isn't afraid to speak his mind when the plan isn't going, as efficient as possible. But functionally, Chopper had a lot of heroic moments in Star Wars Rebels. I don't think he gets enough credit when it's really due. Like he's a very massive part of Star Wars Rebels. And it's just when he does it, it's hilarious to watch. Chopper is the one that, like, if he was in A New Hope during the final ceremony, he would have been the one that steals Leia's medal and just like ran away with it, laughing and grinning at the same time. Like that, Chopper is freaking hilarious, and one that, like, my level of sarcasm and personality would mesh perfectly with Chopper.
Wow, underrated choice there. Personally, I liked R2 over Chopper, but he is a funny character and he does have some good moments. I did like his adventure on his own in the Rebels show. That was pretty cool. And also, Movies Matrix is saying, go to moviesmatrix.com, search Ahsoka or The Mandalorian for Dibe's amazing content. Hats off, brother, man. You got some great stuff there. All right, so let's go to our leader. Mike, who is leading your crew?
I debated this a lot. I was thinking about going kind of super out there and possibly even taking on a Sith as my leader, but I want to make sure that my team can work together. I know that's not going to happen if I take Sheev Palpatine, who ran the galaxy for 30 years. So I'm going to go a little bit more conservative here. I'm going to go with Obi-Wan. He was a great teacher to so many, two of the best Jedis of all time, Anakin Skywalker and Luke. And I could have went with Anakin, but just that outside the box, too risky sort of thinking. I want to make sure that my team is successful in their missions, and I know Obi-Wan will get me there.
Nice. The GOAT, the legend. He's actually arguably my favorite Jedi, but Ahsoka and Anakin are kind of right there. But I did grow up in the original trilogy, and Alec Guinness and even Ewan McGregor just did a wonderful job growing up for me.
He was perfect. Yeah.
Who's leading your crew, Dibes?
Come on, guys. You know exactly where this is going. Of course, it's my queen, Ahsoka Tano. She's someone she's someone who values friendship and truth above tradition. A great chunk of this stems from her relationship with Anakin, which that dynamic is so freaking memorable. She's a leader in the truest sense. I literally just made an article and video. The video's over at Movies Matrix YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. But yeah, Ahsoka Tano. We've done so many pods, Loretto, on Ahsoka Tano. I'm not going to go off on Ahsoka Tano, but she's so great because she fights in what she believes in. She fights for people. She fights for friendships, rather than getting caught up in like the politics of war, like the Jedi Council. For that reason alone, that's why I believe she's going to perfectly gel with my wild card, which might be a little controversial.
Awesome. I love Ahsoka myself. I actually wrote a pretty heartfelt review for the Siege of Mandalore. So another cheap, shameless plug. It's on moviesmatrix.com. But I just really thought like that was when she cemented herself. We talked about this, Di. It was about cementing herself as a master. And I think she showed that in those final episodes. Descending into Mandalore and, leading the charge with the 501st before they unfortunately turn on her. But anyways, going out to round out our crews, we got the wild card. It could be just, throwing it out there, anybody that could just give your crew a boost. Mike, who you got for your wild card?
Similar to Dibes, my strategy wasn't so much, let's make this overpowered team. It's going to be the team that's, traditional Star Wars. So when you think traditional Star Wars, you think a heavy like Chewie, or you think a droid. And I say, why can't you have both? And actually, Dibes, when you're saying sarcastic droid that would match your sense of humor, I thought you were about to take him from me. I'm going to go with K2SO. He's my favorite droid in all of Star Wars. Rogue One is my favorite film in all of Star Wars, and I got to have him on my team.
Nice. I think he was voiced by Alan Tudyk, right?
Tudyk.
That guy is so funny. Steve the Pirate.
Fantastic.
Awesome choice, man. Underrated choice. I love K2, but like that wouldn't have gone into my mind. So who's your wild card, Dibes?
All right. So my wild card, this is a real wild card. This is a wild card in the truest sense. While this guy might be a villain, he's also one of the best in Star Wars. He's not evil. He's just doing what needs to be done to be the most efficient leader, the best strategic leader in the entire galaxy. For my wild card, I'm going with the big blue guy. I'm going with Grand Admiral Thrawn. This guy rounds out my squad of all Star Wars Rebels characters. And quick fun fact, Thrawn was actually voiced by Lars Mikkelsen. He was the brother of Mads Mikkelsen, who played Galen Erso in Rogue One. Little fun fact. But Thrawn is not your like typical Star Wars villain. Like he's super patient. He's super polite. He rewards those that succeed, but also will help those who don't. He shows deep and profound respect towards intelligence. But what separates Thrawn from everyone else is, dude, this is one of the smartest characters in the Star Wars universe. That mastery of tactics, man, super unrivaled. This is just a charismatic leader that plays chess, not checkers. So this is why I went the route of having Ahsoka, Hera, and Chopper on my team. I think these are three that would really kind of gel with Thrawn, and Thrawn would immediately respect. These are three that would not be afraid to put Thrawn in their place. They would lead by example and fight wars on moral reasons and what is right versus what is necessary. And I think that is something that Thrawn will be drawn to and attracted to, and have very little difficulty falling in line with.
Wow. Did not see that coming, Dives. I think Thrawn is definitely like one of the best characters, period, in the Star Wars universe. But it makes you wonder, like, would Hera and Ahsoka be able to work with Thrawn? I think that's kind of an interesting play there. Yeah. But overall, strategically, it makes a lot of sense. He's a mastermind. So everyone watching, we're going to put these two teams up on our, go ahead and follow us at Movies Matrix Pod on Twitter. We're going to put up a poll, team crew, Mike's crew versus Dive's crew. We're going to have you guys vote for who you think's the best crew. I can't even say, who has the edge here. The original pair from New Hope, Obi-Wan and Luke. And by the way, Mike, are we doing like old Obi-Wan or prime Obi-Wan here?
Although you cut out on me for a second. What'd you say?
Are we doing prime Obi-Wan or?
No, I was thinking Clone Wars, to be honest.
Okay. Clone Wars, yeah. Obi-Wan. Epic matchup. All right, 1 second, you guys. While I'm fixing up our screens here, Dibes, what are you hoping to see with our premiere coming up at the end of the week?
Oh my gosh! I mean, it all boils down to Ahsoka. I think it's going to be episode 5. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Filoni's episode 5. There's no way that they're going to have the Ahsoka intro, big screen debut that's not directed by Dave Filoni. So I think we're going to see Ahsoka in that like 5th episode. I hear it's going to be 53 minutes long, which is really exciting because some of the episodes in season 1 were like 23 minutes, 24 minutes, which is really short. Really, it boils down to, I can't wait to see that fatherhood dynamic between Mando, Din Djarin, and Baby Yoda, the child. I want to see these two like a buddy cop traversing across the galaxy, building their characters that we just have fallen over heels in love with. I just can't wait to see more Mando and Baby Yoda interaction. Maybe Mando playing in the cockpit, attention seeking, all that kind of stuff. I just eat that up. That's my favorite.
Awesome. How about you, Mike? What are you expecting to see for the season premiere of The Mandalorian season 2?
I mean, I'm definitely just as much looking forward to Ahsoka coming in, but yeah, I think you're right, Dibes, episode 5, and yeah, they would not pass up, Filoni leading her introduction. You're absolutely right. The thing that I would say that I'm most interested in seeing, just because I'm really not sure where we're going this season, how is the child going to be different? How is he going to grow in this season? What are we going to see him do that, because the talk of the town every week after each episode aired last year was what'd he do? They even moved up, that episode before the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker, just so he could be the first one to heal somebody with the Force, or at least on screen. So what is he going to do that's going to shock us all, that's going to keep us talking? What's going to make us, just absolutely even more in awe and adore the child?
What if he starts talking?
Yeah, no, and I was just thinking about that today. What is he going to sound like? And is he going to talk like Yoda? Do they all talk like that? Do we know this? I don't know. So we're going to find out. It's going to be cool.
I have an article.
An interesting thought.
I have an article coming out for Movies Matrix on Mandalorian power rankings on every character. and what I expect in season 2. That's probably coming out next week, I would imagine.
Awesome.
That's such an interesting thought. That didn't even cross my mind. We never saw Yaddle talk in the Phantom Menace either, so it's just kind of like
exactly.
And kind of to touch on what you were talking about, Mike. I'm wondering how they're going to surprise us this time. From the child using the Force to lift the mud. What's it called? The mud horn. Lift them up. Seeing Ming-Na Wen was a pleasant surprise for me. I'm a big Agents of
I
S.H.I.E.L.D.
love
fan.
her, man. I'm a huge fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then
I was like, Agent May!
and then at the end of Mulan too, which I didn't really enjoy, but that's a whole other topic. But seeing her, the original voice, and then she shows up, I was like, that was my favorite moment.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm just wondering how they're going to surprise us. The teaser and the trailer hasn't really shown us much.
No.
You know what the surprise is going to be? It's going to be the armor is going to be Bo-Katan, and we're going to get some sort of flashback with Bo-Katan and Moff Gideon going in that Siege of Mandalore. That's going to be epic, and we're going to see how he gets the Darksaber, and that'll eventually lead that path to Mandalore. Obviously, I think a big chunk of season 2 is Din Djarin deciding between does he stay the path as a Mandalorian and stay true to his childhood and growing up, or does he take over that responsibility of being a father and what that means? Does that mean letting go of Baby Yoda, or does that mean letting go of the Mandalorian culture? I think that's what we're going to see. I think that dynamic is major.
I'd love to see him become just a complete outlaw and just, father, son, the galaxy, Absolutely.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
But I think that's season 3. I think that's season 3 where the part of the role of any parent, the role of any father is to also let go. And I think we'll see hopefully explore the origin of the Yoda species, probably in season 3, because that is his role right now. Mando's role is to take him home. So I think, did they confirm how many seasons this is going?
I'm not positive.
I think it's open-ended at this point. Like, I think it depends on the success of this season and how much, I hope they don't drag it out too long. I don't want to have another Walking Dead here, but yeah, so Multiverse Monitors needs a Yoda hat. That's actually our newest Matrix team member. How you doing, Aliana? Thanks for coming.
Welcome.
John was saying we should get her a hat to welcome her to the Matrix. She's at Cosmic_Oracle, a brand new member. Can't wait to see what she has in store for us. And Sean is screaming Thursday. I didn't even realize. I don't know what day it is sometimes. So I guess that's 3 days away now. Woo! Can't wait for it. And with that being said, what else do we have next coming up, Dives? I think we have this action draft coming up.
Yes, sir, baby.
Break it down for us, man. What can all the viewers expect for this action draft? When is it happening, and what are we gonna do?
So similar to the horror draft, the genre is so big, just like action. The action draft is just this massive draft that will be going down November 7th and November 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern time. They'll both be live streamed, 10 teams each, picking the best of the best in the action genre. That's why we kind of wanted to have another two-nighter, because there are so many action movies here to choose from, OGs to modern. We just did a John Wick versus The Matrix podcast last Friday night. And all I could think about is these are two movies that I would be stunned if they make it past the first round. They are just absolute instant classics. So November 7th, November 8th at the Movies Matrix YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. And follow on Twitter at Movies Matrix. I'm sure there'll be some tweets to get you ready, but we're a couple weeks away. I've made a Group A and a Group B of what I think are the best franchises and the best of the best. So we have Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War. We have John Wick 1, John Wick 3. We have Fellowship of the Ring, Return of the King. So what that did, though, is kind of give more freedom to go off board, because I think when this thing clicks is when people go off the board and kind of surprise you. And this is kind of going to be absolutely a personal list of mine. I have probably movies that I'm probably going to go against my overall strategy in this one. So I'm not sure if that means winning, but it means winning for me because I have a lot of movies to heart when it comes to action.
Oh man, we're gonna be drunk if we take a shot every single time we say instant classic. Shout out to Bat Nipples who couldn't join us today. By the way, Mike, are you joining us for this draft?
I think when we originally planned it, I checked my calendar and I couldn't, but maybe I could recheck and then I'll see if I'm available because I'd love to, but I gotta see.
We have openings for Sunday night.
For Sunday night. Okay, yeah. I'll keep that in mind. Absolutely.
Hey, we'd love to have you, man.
Yeah.
To finish us off here, Dives, you got anything coming up that you want to plug?
All right. Mandalorian season reviews. I'll be writing them for moviesmatrix.com every Friday. I'll be pumping those out, my grades, my overall thoughts, what it means moving forward. We will be doing Mandalorian episode reviews at the Suit Up Geeks podcast on Twitter at Suit Up Geeks. Check that out. I can't think. We're just really going to be all absorbed into Star Wars for the foreseeable future. We're talking about doing a chapter analysis of The Light of the Jedi, which is a novel coming out in January that's really going to deep dive into the High Republic era, which is really exciting for those that are kind of bored of the Skywalker saga and those sort of things, like me. That's what we're going to do. I'm really excited for that because Lo and I read chapter 1 and did a breakdown of it. It was really exciting. And I think what is going to make it successful, it pays homages to the space Western vibe. That's really the vibe I got was kind of similar to what we see with The Mandalorian. We're going to go way back, like space Western, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. Follow him on Twitter at Mr. Crockpot, and also follow our other show, the Suit Up Geeks. We have a lot of other fun stuff there too. Follow us at the Suit Up Geeks. Mike, you got anything coming up?
This week, I'm hoping to put an article together. I was just kind of inspired, hopefully not, inspired because Jamie Foxx coming back in Spider-Man 3. I can't think of a more talented actor that was just, not really given anything to work with. And what he was, he did it. But, we're going to get to see Electro. He's not going to be blue. He's going to be green. He's going to be handled with care by Marvel Studios. So I was inspired to come up with at least my top 5 of kind of comic book movie castings where the actors weren't given much to work with, similar to him, and who deserve redemption. So maybe not a recast, not saying that they deserve another film, but in ideal conditions, they absolutely would have killed it. So that's what I'm working on next.
Nice. I think there's a lot to work with there. So that about wraps it up for us. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Follow us at Movies Matrix Pod on Twitter. I'm Lo for Mike, for Dives. We'll catch you guys next time. Thank you guys.